Yes. Welcome back, everybody. We are here at the Best Chef Awards Instagram Talks, where we speak to different chefs, different food professionals from around the world to share something about the situation in their country. We are talking to some special guests, and of course, today we have another one from different parts in the world we haven't spoke about yet. I'm just waiting for Kirk to come online. Kirk, if you're watching, please join the conversation. In the previous talks, we have spoken to Alex Atala from Brazil. And yes, I see it here. 1 second. Yeah. Now it should be working. So we've spoken to Alex Atala from Brazil. Hello, Kirk.
Hi there, Jonathan.
Hello. So I was just introducing you and talking about what actually we are doing here at the Best Chef Awards account. Just said Alex Atala from Brazil, Antonio Bashur from Miami, different parts in the world, and today our guest is from Singapore. It's the executive chef of restaurant JAAN in the Stanford Hotel in Singapore. Actually, he has got his own signature restaurant called JAAN by Kirk. Am I right?
That's right, yeah, that's correct.
Yes, okay. So our guest today is Kirk Westaway, rewarded 1 Michelin star in the 2019 Michelin Star Guide from Singapore. Welcome.
Absolutely, thank you very much. Good to be here.
Nice. How are you?
Yes, all okay here. So next week we're entering our 5th week into the semi-lockdown, unfortunately.
All right.
This will be the completion of our 4th week close of the restaurant. Unfortunately, as you mentioned, we're in a very large hotel, so any kind of takeaway service is pretty out of the question for us. Yeah. There are many restaurants doing a fantastic option with a takeaway service and drop-off and delivery service, but for us, it's not really a possible option.
Yeah, I understand, because you have a luxury restaurant within the hotel. There are different restaurants, right?
Exactly. So it's a large hotel, the Stanford. There's just over 1,000 rooms. We are situated at the very top, which is level 70. So one of the best views over the marina and the skyline of Singapore. Unfortunately, due to the situation, the whole hotel is currently closed, waiting to be lifted. We're hoping for early June.
Early June. Oh wow, yeah, that's a long time. So all hotels have to be closed as well in Singapore.
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. It's not an official lockdown. You're still allowed out to shop for groceries and exercise and do what you need to do, but generally people are requested to stay home. So for the people and the chefs and the restaurateurs that are attempting the takeaway service, they're still in the kitchens and their restaurants providing a fantastic service for the country, which has been very popular. For us, it's kind of just sit and wait until the government reopen the doors for us.
Yeah, I can imagine. So for the viewers, I'm Jonathan Zandbergen, chef from restaurant Merlet in Schorrel in the Netherlands. We have some different regulations because hotels in Holland can be open. Only restaurants have to be closed, and we have this 1.5 meter economy. Actually, this is the social distancing now. In Holland, we call it an intelligent lockdown because restrictions are a little bit more loose than, for example, at your place in Singapore. So our hotels can be open. We have actually decided to make an in-room dining concept, so we can welcome guests in our hotel again already. But for us, it's the same in the Netherlands. Restaurants have to be closed for now until the 20th of May. And then
when you close? When did you begin to close?
15th of March.
Wow,
so that's a long time already. Yeah. And what you just spoke about, a lot of creative initiatives from our colleagues from the Netherlands as well. We have some delivery and takeaway services. Everybody's being creative, and yeah, I'm working in a hotel as well, but you can imagine if you're like a smaller restaurant or just a startup or a starting entrepreneur, these are very difficult times, and that's why, yeah, we like to share some of the stories from the chefs and from the professionals. So
yeah, sure. Well, we're all trying to be very supportive of the people in Singapore. You know, being a very small country, all the chefs are quite a close-knit community, and we're all very friends and a bit of a small family going on in Singapore. So
oh yeah, there's a community of the chefs.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right, that's nice.
There's a selection of restaurants, but we are really a close group. All of us.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
And with all this spare time, do you have some new hobbies or some family time extra?
Yeah, I don't really class it as spare time. I'm keeping myself busy. But the first priority in the hotel when we were announced to be closed was obviously the staff. So being in a large hotel, we have the option and capability to position our staff in the kitchen and restaurant in different operations spread around Singapore. So some of the chefs are going to be positioned as fishmongers or butchers, and there's a couple of kind of all-day dining restaurants that are still open within the hotel. Okay. So we've got an option of spreading them around, basically to keep all the staff employed and to constantly stay active rather than just falling into the trap of sitting down and losing the salary for the month. So that was the main focus. That's kind of taken care of. Yeah, that's nice. Good. And then for myself, it's time to plan new menus, keep in touch with the staff, keep in touch with operations, try and plan what's happening behind the scenes and preparing for the next step in front of the scenes. Yeah, it's quite an exciting time. It's to be opening again. Early June is definitely the planned date for now, and those are the dates. I believe every chef around the world in a similar position to me is preparing their menus, preparing something exciting, and looking forward to kicking off again soon. Yeah, like all the guests, because absolutely. Last week I really wanted to have a dinner somewhere to go out, but yeah, it's like a psychological thing. Now you really face the facts that everything is closed, and that's we're living on. We're going out on a regular basis. It's part of our lives, and now it all, actually everything is cancelled. It's very difficult to be trapped in. I think as chefs, we're very used to jumping out and about all day, every day, and to be locked in at home is a very different style from what we're used to. Obviously, myself and you and all the other chefs have been working all of our lives, and to be suddenly locked away from your kitchen and your team is a big dilemma. It's a big shock to the system and quite a change for all of us. Yeah, of course. And do you have a family over there? No, my family are in the UK. I'm with my partner here in Singapore, but my family are in the UK, so I keep close to them, keep close in contact. But yeah, that's the most of it, really. We're looking forward to continuing to promote what we do in the restaurant. So I'm not sure if you heard, we're doing modern British in the restaurant. Modern British. Oh, that's nice. That's also original for the region you're in. Well, yeah, the reputation of modern British is frowned upon by some, which is why I've taken it upon myself in Singapore to change people's expectations of what they feel about British food, how it could and should be perceived. And I'm enjoying it a lot. I'm not here to reinvent the wheel, but I do enjoy kind of adjusting classics. You ask any person in the world and they hear British food, immediately think of fish and chips. So I want to change people's perception on that and try and use some of the best ingredients I can find, sourcing some of the fruits and vegetables from my own location, which is Devon in the southwest of the UK. All right. Bringing these ingredients to Singapore and really trying to make something special with a modern British concept. Yeah, very nice. Is it a challenge to collect all produce? I've been in Singapore now for 8 years. So at the beginning, it was a big challenge. But the more I look, the more I find. Many suppliers around the UK know I'm searching for these ingredients, and they're very helpful, hospitable to bring and supply the ingredients to me here in Singapore. Yeah. Well,
this can be challenging in the future, right? With new travel restrictions coming up. Do you think it's? Do you think it will? Yeah, make ordering your special
We'll have to see
English
how
ingredients, yeah, more difficult to get over there.
The last month before April, just before we closed, restrictions of importation began to get a little bit challenging. So we'll have to see how the adjustments altered when the borders open, when the flights start to come in, when importations from France, Italy, and Europe and England all start to come back into Singapore. We'll have to judge it when it happens.
And
when
it becomes very difficult, do you have an alternative? Are there any local markets? Are there alternative ingredients which you can use?
There are ingredients in Singapore. There are some incredible fruits and vegetables, definitely herbs and flowers. There's some very local fishmongers, and also meat and poultry is available. And Singapore is seen as a hub. It's very easily available to source many ingredients from Asia, also from Australia and Japan, and you can bring in quite a fine range of ingredients. It's very special.
Yeah, there's they have some special ingredients in these countries like Japan and Australia.
And the quality is very, very high. So there's always an option of arranging some kind of ingredients. All
right, that's nice. And about the clientele, because we just spoke about travel restrictions. Is your clientele? Do you rely on international clientele?
So tourism makes up a part of our business, I guess, like any restaurant in the world. We do rely mostly on Singaporeans and on local people coming in. They're obviously big supporters and big friends and fans of what we are creating, and all the restaurants in Singapore as well. So they are a big part of our support. We do obviously welcome foreigners and tourism from around the world, because people come to Singapore for a holiday and adventure, and also that stop off before they go on to the next destination, whether it's Bali or Australia or Japan. So it is a bit of a destination location with the view I mentioned, and with the interesting style of British cuisine that we're approaching. It's an interesting stop for many people to come and visit us into Singapore.
Yeah, so that's very nice.
So when the borders are open, it's going to be a good time again to reopen soon.
And how do you think is it returning to normal, you think, in Singapore, or are there some really, really big challenges coming up?
Yeah, at the moment it's difficult to say. Obviously the government have announced that we should be looking at early June to reopen. I think everybody is confident for that date, but concerned about the next set of regulations. Perhaps the social distancing will continue for a long time. The borders and tourism might be delayed for a month or so. So we'll have to wait and see. I've got friends obviously in New York and in London and Paris and all over the world, and everybody has a similar opinion about the border control and tourism coming in, and also the social distancing, which will limit and reduce the quantity of customers you can have in the restaurant at one time.
Do you have enough space available to manage like enough guests?
Well, our restaurant is actually very small. We're maximum at 35 seats, so 45 customers is all the space we have. So it's with the social distancing, it'll drop us down a bit of space, but we'll try and make do with what we have and continue to grow and develop until those laws are lifted again. We're quite excited to open up the doors, and hopefully it can be arranged very soon.
Yeah, we all do. And
which are the dates that you've had announced to open for yourself?
We have in Holland, we have like the 20th of May, new regulations are being communicated. But for events, everything is cancelled until the 1st of September. Wow. So the whole summer season, the whole festival season is cancelled. But now people are getting a little bit angry from our business. And for example, all the beach houses or beach clubs, they just, we have this government support. I don't know, do you have any government support for example, for staff costs?
Absolutely, yeah. There's a lot of subsidies in place where they'll look after and nurture all the staff and the local Singaporeans, also the people that are involved, expatriates in the country, and there's a lot of support for everybody inside Singapore.
That's very nice. So the government is paying some attention to what's really important for eventually
they take care of people here.
Yeah, on a sustainable base. Nice. That's very nice, because that's not everywhere in the world that the government is helping.
Yeah, I've heard lots of challenges in other spaces.
Yeah. So, of course, I watched the website, like you just told us, on the 17th floor, with a beautiful view on the harbor. It's really nice.
Yeah.
You also said you have like an original concept. Are you the only one with the modern British concept in Singapore?
Yeah, I'm pretty unique for Singapore, and I don't believe there's many people outside of the UK doing a modern British concept. As I mentioned, it's been kind of frowned upon. At the beginning, it was a tough journey to encourage customers that this is what I wanted to do, and I wanted to believe in this modern British concept. I don't want to attempt to do a different nationality, which I can't really immerse myself into. I'm unable to do French cuisine because I'm not a French guy. I think you've really got to believe in what you do and put everything you've got into it. So the British direction was the only direction for me. And
nice.
And so far it's been very popular, and I'm really happy to continue and to grow and to get people very excited about the next generation of English food coming through the world.
That's nice. It's very nice. It's the first time I hear this. But aren't you schooled in a French way?
You know, I've worked with a few French guys and picked up many tips and cooking techniques from French guys, and I really owe a lot of my training and knowledge to my French mentors from London, in Singapore, and around the world. They've been fantastic, and what I've personally done is taken all the trainings and the mentorship and the beatings along the way and kind of put it into my own style and try to reinterpret it into ingredients and style of food that I've had from a young child in Devon in the UK.
Nice.
Turn into kind of some cheeky family favorites that we serve in the restaurant. So, you know,
for example,
a bit of French thing. Well, obviously the fish and chips. People come to a British restaurant, they expect fish and chips. So what I've done is I do a very small potato tartlet shell with the fish and chips flavors and all the concept of fish and chips, but in a very small bite without serving, you know, a battered piece of fish. So I do try and play a little bit on words, and we do a couple of desserts. You know, Ribena is a very popular pre-dessert we do, which is a drink developed in the UK in Bristol, which is an hour from my home, and it's a very classic Ribena drink. We do it as a pre-dessert to kind of impress and wow the crowds. And Ribena's been a drink that's spread across the world, and it's been very, very popular. So I try and play a little bit on words, but really keeping true to some of the best ingredients I can possibly find. Sourcing shellfish, ideally from Scotland and Ireland and Devon, where popular, and just bringing in as many of the ideas of the UK food that I can.
That's nice. And yeah, like I just said, it sounds really original, and I can imagine that it's really a USP for the hotel as well.
Yeah.
To bring...
At the beginning, it was a challenge to tell them that I wanted to do modern British food. You know, it was a difficult pill to swallow for everybody to really believe and have the faith that modern British direction is what's needed.
But you're in a British hotel group, right? The Stanford.
Accor is French, actually. It's a French.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, I see it. Yeah.
So,
how did you?
Even the French listening to a modern British restaurant is not so favourable as well. So.
No,
we've got
I understand.
many French customers, and we're very happy to have them.
Yeah, just one of the questions from the viewers. Have you a place where you have your good ingredients, but you just explained you have a lot of suppliers who are importing the ingredients from your home region in the UK? Sure,
I try and source some items from Devon. In Devon, in the southwest of the UK, we're very famous for dairy. So cheese and butter and clotted cream. I'm sure you heard of Devon cream cheese. So that will come to my area. So one more little treat we do at the end as a small final snack is is a small Devon cream tea, just a very small version, but it's sweet, and it takes people back to that memory they've had in the UK in the summertime, having a cream tea in the garden. And this is the memory I'm really trying to inject into people as they eat the food, and then have that memory taken back to moments of their life on holiday in the UK, or eating some kind of comfort food they've had in the past.
Nice. And with this concept, you're listed 21st
21,
in the Asia's
21st.
50 best, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's funny. And congratulations with this.
Thanks
because
very much.
no, I think it's you're doing a great job. Original style. Is there something you want to share with all the viewers? We have like a big community of 600,000 followers on the Best Chef Awards. So if there is something, some positivity or some words you want to share with us?
Yeah, I think we've all grown a bit lethargic of feeling sad about this situation. We've all come to accept it. What I've realized from speaking to my friends and family spread across the world is that we're all excited to open. I really believe we put our hearts and minds into what we believe and love, and we've dedicated so much of our time, of our lives into this previously. Now is the time to gather all that information, put it into one, and make a really exceptional display when we reopen a restaurant. Keep strong, keep positive, and very excited to see you all come to see me in Singapore, and looking forward to being in touch.
Yeah, very nice. So for the viewers, welcome at the Best Chef Awards Instagram Talks, where we speak to different professionals from around the world, from our business, the food business. Today we have a special guest from Singapore, Kirk Westaway. He's the executive chef of restaurant JAAN. Yes, and you just said you're already for 8 years in Singapore now?
Yes, 8 years.
And how did you end up
really
there?
Flies by. I can't believe it's 8 years.
But how did you end up in Singapore? What was your motivation?
I'm very good friends with Julian Royer in Odette, and he invited me over once upon a time 8 years ago. I was in South America, and on my way back to London from South America, he invited me to join him in Singapore. And you know, it was planned to be a short trip, a couple of years, and now here we are 8 years later with my name on the door. So it's a good place to be.
Yeah, that's a nice development.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. And do you miss home? Do you miss the UK?
It's great to go back. When I get back, I always book a nice selection of restaurants in London. Obviously, try and catch up with the trends, because London restaurants, they change so frequently. And also try and visit a few of my friends down in Devon as well. Trying to roll in some family visits at the same time.
Yeah.
But once a year is the attempt. I go back, see the friends and family, tick off a few of the popular restaurants, and get back. But it's always a great visit to go back and see how UK is evolving every time. Very, very sparsely.
And what are your favorite spots in the UK? Your favorite restaurants?
So Simon Rogan is a friend of mine, and what he's doing, he's recently opened in Hong Kong and in London, and in just below Scotland. He's got some incredible locations, and I love that a lot, and that's somewhere I'd always visit. And you know, some of the guys down in Devon, what they're doing is very, very good as well. Michael Caines, he's in the Manor, which is actually 20 minutes from my family home in southwest of Devon, and that's great. And I really like to go there. And I've also got a good friend, Dan, in Bath, in a restaurant there, and he's doing great things. So I look forward to seeing one of them when I can go back.
Nice, yeah. Is it quiet in the streets in Singapore?
Currently, it is. Yeah, you walk out for a walk around the streets. It's very, very quiet. People are obedient. People are following the rules. You know, the rules are set. There's a reason why the rules are there. We're trying to eliminate this virus in the country as quick as possible. So people are determined to assist in eliminating this virus. They're really trying to stay home. They're sticking to the stay home rule. We're all trying to beat it together. It's quite a small community. There's around just over 5 million of us in Singapore. And I think together, everybody's really determined to move it on as quick as possible from the country.
Yeah, of course. But you just have 5 million, population is 5 million in Singapore?
Yeah, around 5 million.
It's a young country, right?
People are on the streets, or they're wandering around?
Yeah, well, since the restrictions are loosened up a little, you know, people are people, and they go out and when they're allowed to do 2 meters, then you know, the next day they go to the next street and they go out. But there is some police control on this. Regulations are very clear. You know, we have an intelligent lockdown in Holland, which means there's the government asks really some responsibility from the people to finish it all together in a positive way. But yeah, there are people on the streets here, and you know, all the supermarkets are open. Some retailers like grocery stores, big actually shopping mall was reopening this week. So okay. A friend of mine works in a shopping mall, and he just told me. I said, okay, how do you do it? Because, you know, on a normal day in a shopping mall there are thousands of people walking, but they've managed to do a special routing in the building, and everyone is very eager to open up again, not only for their own business, but people are just at home and they get tired of being at home. I can imagine.
Of course, we're all bored of being at home. But I hope people don't open too early. This is the concern that many are worried about as well. I think we are set at the 1st of June here in Singapore, and even it is a long time to be at home and kind of away from your businesses and your work and your friends and your family. But 1st of June is set as a good date, and I really hope we can all last and follow the rules, follow the restrictions, and really try and eliminate this in this country. And the same as all over, I think it's really important to continue with the circuit breaker, continue with the social distancing, stay at home wherever possible, and it can eliminate it pretty quickly if we all follow those rules.
Yeah, we hope so, but our government is really managing by trial and error, because there are certain things they don't know and they're just trying. For example, the primary schools in Holland open next week because they believe that children are like less how do you say it? Contagious, and there's a lower risk of spreading the virus for children. But yeah, there are different stories, you know. And for me, I watch some propaganda from online from different countries, but also from the Netherlands. And you know, there are so many stories, and also different countries are acting in a different way. For example, in Sweden, the regulations are very loose, and they don't even have a lockdown. They haven't had a lockdown at all. So yeah, there are different, you know, different regulations. People facing very tough weather in like Italy and Spain, of course, in Europe. Some countries we don't hear anything about, because governments are trying to keep the journalists quiet. No, really, they control the propaganda from their country. So there's so many stories. For me, I do not really know what I can believe, but yeah, of course, you see the images of people suffering from you know, lung infection and so on, which is terrible, of course, and a lot of people are dying. So it's very important.
Unfortunately, nobody has the answer to this. Everybody is just trying to fix it in their own method. Every government around the world is trying to fix the problem accordingly. They're all unfortunately trying to create truffle and error. It's all coming together step by step in different countries. But hopefully we can clear it very soon.
Yeah, in June, and it will all come back not to normal, but there's going to be a new. Well, we are, you know, in the talks I have and all the colleagues I speak to, we are redefining fine dining and the whole concept of fine dining, because, well, we have to, because this social distancing will be with us for a long time, I believe, and everybody I speak to is believing it the same. Absolutely. That we really have to change the traditional fine dining concept. Yeah, and we will see in the future if there's enough revenue
the
to be
question
made.
is, do people still want to sit in a restaurant for 3 to 4 hours and enjoy that long experience, or do they want to get in and get out a bit quicker? I believe people are gonna, they'll be sourcing the restaurants that are really serving the premium ingredients, but also looking for a bit of a shorter experience in the restaurant. They're not so desperate to sit in there and relax within the confinements of the social distancing for so long. I believe they would prefer to get in, have their meal, have the experience, bing, bang, bong, and get out as quick as possible.
Yeah. Well, for me, I really like to go out again and have this like 4-hour experience. Just to do, well, it was part of our lives, and for many people all around the world, food is such a cultural thing in every country. So we all hope we can go back to business as soon as possible. Well, I had some questions, but you already talked yourself about like your colleagues in the community in Singapore, which is very interesting.
Sure. Have you been to Singapore before?
No, I have never been to Singapore. No, China and Hong Kong and Maldives, but no, not Singapore. Should I come?
Absolutely, put it on your list. It's a fantastic country. As you can tell, I plan to be here 2 years, and then 8 years later, I'm very, very happy here.
Nice. Developments are, well, Singapore was really working on building the city. Can you tell us something about this? How you've seen the city evolve in these years?
Yeah, developments happen very quickly. I believe the plans are there, and they grow and develop buildings and businesses very quickly. There's always a nice selection of restaurants opening. Unfortunately, 1 or 2 here and there are closing, like any country in the world. The food scene is very dynamic in Singapore. A lot of different styles, but all firing at a very high level of food. It doesn't matter if you're looking for a $2 meal or a $200 meal, you're really going to find some quality in Singapore. Nice. The hawker centers are delivering some of the best food anywhere. Very, very cheap, but incredible quality. The flavors and the combinations are fantastic, and they're dishes that I've loved from my first day in Singapore that I still love now.
Nice.
And the fine dining level is very high. People are doing some really interesting styles of cooking. Every nationality you can imagine is here in Singapore cooking their own styles, and it's really a food capital. Everybody in the country is a critic and a judge where it comes to their food style and what they appreciate and what they prefer. They have very high knowledge, which makes you stay on your toes. You need to have a very good ability to meet the standards that are set very high here in Singapore.
Ah, well, that's healthy competition, right? Everybody gets better.
Oh, we do enjoy it. Yeah. Like I mentioned, we're all a close community of chefs and friends. We all treat it as a small town in Singapore. Nice.
Are you at home right now?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
And do you go to the restaurant sometimes?
Not really. I visit the hotel once in a while to catch up, but generally it's all kind of digital. It's via Zoom meetings here and there, and chit chat. So it's easy to just communicate via WhatsApp and Zoom meetings. The hotel is pretty switched off, so I can speak to people as and when I need to.
Nice. Yeah. Because there's
you're in and out of the hotel.
Yeah, well, I was at home for 4 weeks and we had some meetings. Now we are reopening again, trying to maintain this 1.5 meter distance. So I'm working with maximum of 4 people in the kitchen. We have a big kitchen, but normally there are 10 chefs, now just 4. So we're also starting up with trial and error, trying things. We have 2 restaurants actually, a Michelin star restaurant and a brasserie. The Michelin star restaurant, like I just said, we have an in-room dining experience. So we serve a 4-course Michelin star dinner in the rooms, nice table. And then we are starting up takeaway and delivery service from next week from the brasserie. So we are in the region, so there's not a big population around, but we have a very strong name in our region. So that's why we thought, okay, We have 2 restaurants, but one is doing nothing. We have all the staff. We have 40, yeah, well, compared to your hotel, it's not so big, but we have 40 permanent staff members on loan. Yeah, and we need to start acting, because otherwise it's not a sustainable. It's not sustainable for us, and we really want to hold on to our people, to the staff we build up in all these years. I think this is a everybody who I'm talking to is saying the same. You know, we are working so many years to build up a team, to get to know each other, to get a routine, to maintain this certain level and consistency in our restaurants, in our service. So now is not the time to fire everybody. We have to be creative to hold
Absolutely.
on to our
As we all know, especially today, more than ever, it's very challenging to find the right guys to put into the team. And they dedicate and deliver a lot of their hard work and passion into our dream. You know, it's not particularly their dream, it's our dream that they're helping us with. And it's definitely, in a moment like this, it's our responsibility to ensure their health and welfare, to make sure they have the best situation and the best outcome, so that when the doors do open, they are going to return, and we can reunite as one once again in the restaurant.
Yeah, nice. So I have one more question. You're at home.
And I've got a gin and tonic, actually.
Oh, nice. What time is it at your place?
11:30.
11:30. All right. So we're at Central Europe time, 5 p.m.
Yeah.
Yeah. You were talking about creating new menus, but normally you're in this structure of you're in a kitchen. You have all the produce to use. Yeah, normally that's the way how you create new dishes, right?
Sure.
So how do you do it now?
Doing the British restaurant in Singapore, even though the seasons are very different, I still work on British and European seasons. So unfortunately, spring, we were just launching the spring menu as the restrictions came in. So, you know, we didn't get to put asparagus on the menu, white asparagus, green asparagus, the morels and the wild garlic. It never came onto the menu, unfortunately. We're going to be aiming for a summer menu as soon as possible. And that's what I work on. I really work on, you know, my childhood growing up in the summer in the UK, and what were the ingredients that we used to use, really some baby vegetables. We're going to try and source some amazing lamb from Wales, from Rug Estate over there, and roll that into the menu as well. And just work onto you know, strawberries and peas and some baby vegetables with the lamb, and work on the summer menu.
Sounds delicious, really.
Yeah.
When are you open?
Well, yes, as soon as possible. I'll see you there very, very soon.
Beginning of June, right?
Yeah.
All right.
So that's the concept. We're working on the summer menu. We're aiming for summer, and hopefully we can launch it as soon as possible in June. Yeah,
we all do.
Yeah.
All right. So we had a nice chat. I get to know a little bit more about the situation in Singapore. For all the viewers, we are speaking with Kirk Westaway. He has a signature restaurant in Singapore. And he just shared with us some information about the current situation. He, as a chef, and also his team and the people from Singapore are in right now. Any last words for this conversation?
Well, I think I said it all earlier, but once again, I wish everybody the world of health. Get creative. Now's the chance. And I really hope we can all rejoin very, very soon. The sooner the better. We're all eager. I believe every chef in the world has got a responsibility and a personal affection to the kitchen, to the team. And I'm very much looking forward to rejoining and seeing my team, and to have a very busy beginning early June. I can't wait for it. I wish you all the best, and I hope you can open as soon as possible. Take care of yourselves, and keep in touch.
Nice words. Thank you, Kirk.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Once you're in Singapore, please visit restaurant JAAN by Kirk Westaway. This was Instagram Talks from the Best Chef Awards, and we hope we'll see you next Well, we have a lot of conversation. Actually, myself, I'm doing it on Saturday and Wednesday, and we are really speaking with different chefs, different professionals from our worldwide community, just to share some information and some positivity. Kirk, thank you very much.
Thanks very
good
much.
luck over there, and yeah, I hope 1st of June you're opening, right?
Yeah, you too. Good luck with everything. Take care. Very nice to speak to you.
All right.
Thanks
Thank you
so
very
much.
much.
Good night, everyone. Take care.
Bye bye.
Cheers. Bye.